We just wrapped up UFC Macau, and it's not even breakfast time, but it's kind of breakfast time here where I am. So I figured we'd do a recap. It was a good card. I felt like I had to defend this card pretty much the entire week leading up to it because everyone was saying how it was going to be such a bad card. They didn't know who any of these fighters were. It's going to suck, this, that, and the other. It was a great card. It was just like I said it was going to be. It was a great card, and we did pretty well on our predictions. We went 10-3. We're gonna go over that in just a moment here. Could have done better, but 10-3 is not bad. I'm not going to get mad about that. But let's talk about this card because it was an all-action card, lots of finishes, and I think the fights that didn't get a finish were very exciting fights. So let's go ahead and talk about it. The first fight of the night is Mahashate and Nicholas Mata. Now, this is one of the three that we got wrong. We were on the Mahashate side. We said like it wasn't a confident read. But the reason we went with Mahashate was because, Nicholas Mata's durability wasn't great. His striking defense wasn't great. The size advantage is going to be on Mahashate, and he's a hometown guy. But we saw some really big improvements out of Nicholas Mata in this fight. He kept that high guard. He did not let his hands down throughout the fight. The durability seemed okay, but he didn't really eat any big clean shots. A couple with the knees, but not too many. So he was able to avoid the durability weakness that we've seen from him in the past and get the win over Mahashate. So good for him there. In the next fight, we had Long Zhao versus Huang Lai. And we were on the Long Zhao side, and his pace really, really just impressed the heck out of me there because the guy was able to put that pace on. And for Huang, he wasn't able to get his counter shots in like he normally can. He did a few, don't get me wrong, but Long Zhao was just dude wanted to go. And something I thought was hilarious was every time he went like this, you knew he was about to connect with a big shot, a big 2-3, actually. The big 2-3 combo at the end. Every time he did this, it was big 2-3 shot. And that was something I liked that I saw that I took away as a pretty big positive for him. And I think moving forward, people are going to have trouble with his pace and his pressure. So in the next one, Lodi Kavanaugh and Jose Ochoa. Now, this was a fight that even though Kavanaugh seemed to clearly win the fight, I was kind of nervous for him at times because Ochoa is one of those guys that he's long and lanky, so he's hard to keep your range on and still be able to land shots of your own. He is extremely dangerous everywhere. The dude can hit really hard. Those knees are deadly. If he could get in the clinch, it was going to be a real rough night for Kavanaugh. But Kavanaugh did a great job of just doing what he needed to do, staying where he needed to stay, investing in those body kicks, which were probably one of the things that stood out to me as a big game changer in this fight, were those body kicks. He was really able to mark up the body of Ochoa. And did what he needed to do. The volume from him wasn't exceptionally high over Ochoa or anything, but he did just enough and landed the better shots in pretty much every round. The second round was close. And so for me, Kavanaugh, he showed what he needed to do. Both of these guys are going to be good prospects. Next, I believe we jumped into the Carlos Hernandez versus Nurmagomedov Tumendabral. Close fight, but I thought Hernandez clearly won 29-28. So split decision. It's kind of what you expect. Carlos Hernandez is a guy that, he doesn't really get the nod when it comes to the judges. Or I guess he kind of does, doesn't he? He's kind of got it a few times where he shouldn't have, but you're worried about it coming in with him being 2-3 in his last 5. He's fighting an undefeated fighter, and you'd expect him to not get the nod here because he was the guy that the UFC probably didn't really want to win for the promotion of a prospect. But he was a better fighter. He did what he needed to do. He had a couple of spots where he kind of messed some stuff up, but he did well enough that I thought he got the win, and I thought it was well-deserved. Next, this fight, Shi Ming versus Feng Xiaochen. Okay. I got so much flack in the comments from you guys. Not all of you, but a lot of you. People who probably don't even watch the Road to UFC tournaments telling me that Xiaochen is a lock. She's going to win this fight. This isn't even going to be close. Shi Ming doesn't belong here. She's terrible. And, Xiao Chen is going to be is just going to be so much better than her. And it's a foregone conclusion, acting as if the fight had already taken place. And what I was saying was just blasphemy. But not only did Shi Ming win the fight, she darn near killed her. The girl got carried out on a stretcher. So I go back to the comments section, and a lot of you cowards who, like I said, probably just went with the big favorite and didn't even watch the Road to UFC leading up to it. You deleted your comments, and that's okay. It's okay. I understand you're embarrassed. It's okay to get things wrong. But just know I'm watching the road to UFC. When you tell me I need to do my research and then this happens, I'm going to be a little feisty about it. So forgive me if I'm coming off a little bit arrogant. Mingxi deserved that win. You can't even say it was a judge's robbery because she darn near killed the woman and she had her get carted out on a stretcher. Most dominant win of the night because nobody else got taken out on a stretcher. Mingxi's the winner. That girl deserves every bit of the praise. I thought it was funny because, not funny, but like, funny's not the right word, but you know what I mean. Like, we use funny sometimes the wrong way. Xiao Chen's laying there like unconscious or whatever, and I'm pretty sure Xi Ming is like a doctor or something like that, or she's like in medical school, one of the two. And like they're calling like the paramedics and the doctors and stuff to come in, but like there's like a doctor in the cage. Thought that was kind of interesting. Like, but I mean, she was the one that kind of put her in that situation, so I can see why you wouldn't want her to go over there and fix her, but like, or maybe not fix her, but like tend to her, but at the same time, you know what I mean. Interesting bit. But we can move on to the other road UFC finals. We nailed these as well, but we're going to start with the Dong Hun Chui and Kiro Sahota fight. Just like I said, I feel like I'm going to be saying that a lot. I don't mean to sound like a jerk, but Kiro Sahota, what he does when he throws his punch, the other hand comes way down by his waist. And what did he do in this fight? Dropped his other hand way down by his waist and got countered and knocked out. That's what we said was going to happen. You could go back to the breakdown video, scroll to the end of that fight, and that's what I said was going to happen. He was going to drop his hand and get clipped. So, pretty clear on that one. The next one, Su Young Yu versus Balgin Jinisui. Yeah, we called this one as well. The better grappler is Su Young Yu. He showed that there. He even looked like the better striker. The only thing that I saw for Balgin was the power. I thought he had some pretty good power on the feet, but he just wasn't able to get his hands going. Su Young Yu did what he needed to do. Looks great. That's what you look for in a fighter that like that. I think I tweeted it out. That throw to a back take he did on the road to UFC shows that this dude knows what he's doing in the grappling. So Su Young Yu got it done. Wish I would have jumped on the line and bet him. I don't know why I didn't, but something just had me worried. I was worried about betting against the Chinese fighters on this card, which was stupid because like hardly any of them won. I mean, Xi Ming did, but it was China versus China. Long Zhao did. China versus Vietnam. He won that one. And then we'll cover the other one in a bit. But still, the Chinese fighters didn't do super well on this card. But here I am sitting there like, oh, man, I don't know. I could see some bad decisions or some robberies. But like it was the judges got things right in this one. So that was impressive. I'm glad the judges did their job, which is funny to say that we have to actually take account of that. The next one I've got here is Volkan Ozdemir and Carlos Ulberg. This kind of went as you expected, right? Or at least as we expected. Carlos Ulberg's the better fighter on the feet. Not that Ozdemir's bad. It's just Carlos Ulberg's super technical on the feet, super clean. He has pretty good takedown defense. He showed that in this matchup. Pretty much just landed the better shots. Ozdemir was getting pieced up a bit. The one thing that Ozdemir did was land a few pretty big counter shots, but it just wasn't enough to make up for what Ulberg was landing. I love the way he was doubling up the lead hand. The dude was just doing fantastic. So Ulberg clearly cruised to a decision there, just like you like to see it. I believe we have, there we go. Ozzy Diaz and Zhang Mingyang. Kind of, I mean, what did you expect? It was going to be a first round finish. Whoever was just going to land. We called Zhang Mingyang, but it was one of those where like, yeah, you could flip a coin. Whoever's going to hit the other one was probably going to, put him down. But Zhang Mingyang was going to start a little bit faster here. Ozzy Diaz probably could be a middleweight, but it's just kind of what it is. So Zhang Mingyang did what he needed to do. Here was the one that really threw us off. It was Wang Chong versus Gabriela Fernandez. And Wang Chong, or let's see, how do I put this? She was controlling the entire fight. Like she was dominating this fight up until all of a sudden she wasn't. For Chong, she was landing at will, landing power shots, looking good, like really, really good on the feet, showing defensive wrestling abilities. And then second round, a little bit into the second round, she gets clipped on the chin and down she goes. And Fernandez just locks up a rear naked choke, but in such a way where she gets her flattened out and both of her arms stuck underneath. So she can't even defend the choke. And she can't like pick her hips up because it's just like the worst position to be in a rear naked choke. So she like couldn't even tap out if she wanted to. So it was just a rough one for her. Honestly, if Wang Chong had won, we would have killed it on the bets because we have our Patreon parlay, and everybody's like, "Oh, you shouldn't this way. You don't parlay at big favorites." Like, it's a huge parlay. Like, it's what we do. We have to. It's part of the gimmick, right? We do it. So she was one of the base legs, so that killed that. But at the same time, we missed 3 picks on the card, not too bad. But yeah, Wang Chung had won almost every bit of this fight until she didn't, and that's just how it goes in MMA. Sometimes you can get caught, and that's what happened. Props to Fernandez. I did not expect that. I don't think actually nobody expected that. I don't think anybody picked Gabriel Fernandez, at least not anybody I was seeing, and the odds suggested that. So there's that. Next one, we have Muslim Salikov and Song Kanan. Great matchup. It was interesting because a lot of people thought this was going to be a really boring snooze fest, and I was kind of one of them. Salikov's really good at just slowing down a fight, making it so guys don't really get a land on him, and then he doesn't really land a ton either. He does just enough to get the win, but this one here, he went back to his old ways, landed that spinning heel kick to the head, put Song Kanan just out, which can't complain about that. Great win for Muslim Salikov. Dude's still getting it done at 150 years old, so apparently him being a vampire is paying off for him. Co-main event, China gets another one here on a card where there's a lot of Chinese fighters. They didn't do so hot, but this one, utter dominance. Yan Xiaonan absolutely dominated Tabitha Ricci, and rightfully so. She was a far better striker. Ricci couldn't really get her down and control her, and I think it was partway into the second round that Ricci landed 2 total strikes. And I was like, man, that's 2 total strikes into the second round is rough. So Yan Xiaonan stayed at range, landed her shots, just utter domination on the feet. It's kind of what you expected if it was a striking matchup. But I think a lot of people thought that Ricci was going to be able to get her to the cage, get her to the mat, something like that. It just didn't happen, not consistently. Yan Xiaonan showed why she was a title challenger at one point. And it also just kind of shows how good Zhang Weili really is if she was able to beat Yan Xiaonan the way that she beat her with the performance that Yan Xiaonan just put in. So for me, good win. And, it's going to put her back in the title picture, but I think she needs another one just because of how brutal the Zhang Weili fight was. Main event. Now, we got this one wrong. We were on the Figueiredo side. At that line, I would play Figueiredo again. He had moments. He sat down Petr Yan at one point. I thought he won the 4th round, but that's just me. It doesn't matter. He still lost the fight. I thought he won the 4th round, though. It was the round he sat him down. I feel like that kind of should have done it for him, but I get it. Yan looked pretty good outside of that. But, yeah, I mean, it was a closer fight than maybe the scorecard suggests, but Yan clearly was in control of most of the fight. He was landing the better combinations. It started off really big in favor of Figueiredo when he got that takedown. But once he lost top position and just got stuck there, that was it for him, especially because he didn't land much damage when he was on the back or kind of on the back. He wasn't fully committed into it. So at least not much for a very much time. So yeah, Petr Yan obviously earned the victory there, did a great job. And no, I don't think he gets a title shot next. I don't think he deserves a title shot next, but I do think that it does give him a pretty good bit of momentum coming into his next fight. If he can string together 1, maybe 2 more wins, then we can start talking title shot. You just can't be 2-3 in your last 5 and still get a title shot, which he is. He's on a 2-fight win streak. Before that, he was on a 3-fight losing streak. So 2-3 in your last 5 doesn't get you a title shot, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. What do I know? I'm just some guy talking on YouTube. But honestly, I think that does show that Yan recovers extremely fast from injuries. Dude had an ACL tear 6 months ago, as well as a couple other surgeries. But yeah, dude did great. Did what needed to get done. So good on him. Like I said, we went 10-3 on our picks. It was a fun card overall. So everybody that was saying this card was going to suck and then you just didn't watch it, you missed out. You missed out because you were just a big old poo-poo pants and you missed out. So anyway, I had a great time on this card. I appreciate you guys tuning in and watching this recap. If you guys had any further comments, any questions about what you kind of took away from the card, drop them in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this little recap, I don't get the chance to do these very often, but show your support by liking the video. It helped me a lot. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you very soon. We've got Alessandre Pantoja, Kaya Sakura breakdown coming out probably today. So see you soon.